Or we can forget to unmute our mic as usual. Welcome in, my dreamers. Welcome by the fireside with your Dream Siren. Tonight we will be getting into our feelings, our hopes, and our dreams, all by all by the fireside. As I was trying to do a mic check, I hear there's a little bit of a delay, so hold on just a second. Let me check. Okay, it seems to sound good to me. If anything, the game audio or my voice starts to go out or anything is disturbing for your relaxation, please let me know. But for tonight, we're going to cuddle up by the fireside and play this little game, Fireside Feelings. I'm trying to remember. I'll have to go back and look. Hold on just a second. Oh, I didn't turn that up too much. I want you to be able to hear the crackling of the fireplace. So this game was created by Team Imprientes, and the publisher is the Collab. Not like collab, like collaborator, but like collab. And it's currently actually on sale for 20% off. It's if you're interested on Steam. And oh my gosh, I was trying to see what other games they've done before because we love supporting indie artists and indie games. Let's look and see if the devs have done anything else or the publisher. So the publisher has done quite a bit. Nevermorn is a game that they've done. Nice to yeet you. It's a sweet little demo. Counter Clash and Fireside Feeling. So it's pretty new on all sides. So I'm really excited to get into the game. I'm really excited to support this indie game, and I'm really excited to talk about your feelings together. Because as your dream siren, one of the things that I like to help people understand, it is your feelings being a driver towards you reaching your dreams. So kind of sort of if you think about it, your initial feelings towards something is like the seed that is planted in the soil that will help grow what it is that you are trying to manifest in this world. And the more that you pour into that initial feeling, the more you draw that ideal or dream or situation closer to you. And that is just the very beginning spark. So let us begin and get into the game. Please make yourself comfortable. Feel free to please check the description box first for our rules, and then feel free to join in and chat with us. If you don't feel safe or open to sharing, I hope that the stream will allow you to relax into your day comfortably or into your evening, depending on where you are, and just have something cozy and contemplative on in the background. Yes, yes. Spark. Click to continue the conversation. Spark. Oh, wait, what does that say? It's kind of hard to tell, isn't it? Oh, it's very difficult to see. What is he saying? Oh, let's see what our options are. Okay, they've got a couple of different languages for everyone, so that's really nice. Oh, sorry. I thought you spoke fire too. Oh, that's so adorable. No, we don't speak fire yet. We can learn. We can learn. What did you pick as your second language in middle school? Para mí es español. Wait, I'm getting off track. Wait, what would our fire voice be? Would it be? Oh, also, I think let me fix this really quick. I think our audio compressor for our mic might be cutting off the sound a little too much to where you won't be able to hear it even over me when I talk. And it'll just go quiet, which I don't want that. I still want you to be able to hear I want my voice to be louder so there's no conflict with the sound. Okay, I think it's a little bit better now. Also, if there's feedback in my mic, please let me know as well. Always trying to adjust our audio issues, but eventually we'll get it. So, what would our little fire voice be? I'm thinking Howl's Moving Castle, but I don't think I have the gruffiness in my voice for that. We could try to do maybe like a cutesy kind of trilly maybe voice, like, wait, I'm getting off track. First of all, I'd like to welcome you by my side. What a pleasure to see new people joining us. I'm Spark. What's your name? Who shall we be? We should be dreamers. But for now, we'll be Mima. Amazing. As we say around here, warmth to you, Mima. I love meeting new humans or human beings. Let me explain a little about what we do here. Our campfire is a place of empathy. We take the time to answer intimate, deep, or funny questions. Then we discover what others shared before us. Like a gentle and sincere echo through time. We're here to grow hand in hand. But to ensure the best possible experience, these encounters don't happen in real time. Here's an example. To the last person who played this game, I asked the following question. What beautiful emotion would you like to pass on to the next person who starts this game? Here's what they answered. A benevolent stranger. Gratitude. Even if it is just simply one small thing in your life, finding something, anything, to be thankful for is a great feeling to have. It's one of our biggest inspirations in life, something that helps us fundamentally live. I hope you reading this can have something like that in your life. Even just one thing is enough for now. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so sweet. This is what they wanted to share with you, communicating without speaking to you directly. And now, I'd like to ask you the same question. What beautiful emotion would you like to pass on to the next person who starts this game? As your dream siren, you know what my answer is already going to be. Never, ever, ever give up on your dreams. And we actually get to write the message. And I actually wonder if this truly does get passed to the next person. So, uh, um, um. Yay! So we said, never stop dreaming, nor give up on your dreams. The life is constantly flowing. The dreams planted in your heart are ever growing too. So continue to water them with love and attention, new ideas and inspirations. And when you feel like giving up, know that there is a dream siren watching over you, holding your dreams safely until one day they do come true. Yay! Thank you! This way, the chain will continue on and on. You see, that's how things work here. We receive the experiences and emotions of others and share ours in return. When I ask you a question, you'll have the time to answer in a personal and heartfelt way. Once you've answered, you'll be able to read what the player across from you wrote during their own session. They will not know that you talked with them. Similarly, you will have no way to contact them or know who they are, as we never share the real usernames of the players. We're here for just two things: sharing our emotions and experiences, growing together in a space that fosters empathy. This is not a place to try to convince someone they're wrong or to question their story. Here, kindness is key, and it creates beautiful moments to cherish. I hope you'll experience it that way too. However, for other players to meet and talk with you in the future, I'll need your permission to remember your answers. In any case, we change your username to make the responses anonymous. Do you agree to share your answers with other players? What do you say, dreamers? Yes! Alright. Let's meet under the stars in just a few minutes for our first beautiful moment together. See you soon! Now I have to remember what is our, yay! Mwah! This is so cute already. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is our main menu, Fireside Feelings. We've got Who Are You? Continue your character and memories. And then this is their Discord, credits, options, and quit. Let's check options really quick. Topics you don't. Oh, wow. Okay, let's go over this really quickly. Also, I feel like the music might be getting a little too loud again. Hold on. Testing, 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 testing. And now I fear I have turned it down too far. I get really confused sometimes with the way the audio ducking works. Oh, that was so loud. Okay, I think we're safe. Hopefully, hopefully. All right, so now here are your game options. I really like that they have this as very thoughtful. So they've got display my information on your servers. Click this button to find out the information we have about you on our server. And it allows you to go through this. Hello, we want you to feel this is a safe and trustworthy space. We only keep information related to the character you've created and the discussions you've had during your game session. Here's what we know, or what we have about you. And all deletions are permanent and irreversible, okay? Then share my answers and do not share my answers. So we did elect to share our answers, and these are topics that you have here, and I'm assuming if you okay, if you click on them, it'll not have them. So there's verbal violence, physical violence, drugs, alcohol, poverty, sexuality, sexual violence, mental illness, self-harm, discrimination, insults, death, eating disorders, religion and beliefs, war, cruelty to animals, physical health, and disappearance and kidnapping. Wow. These are some very, very deep topics. So, now I have to think about how light or heavy we want to have our conversations tonight. So let's take a second and go over these again, just to make sure that we're not going to talk about anything that's going to be too harmful or not necessarily harmful. Let me restate that. I don't want to talk about anything that's going to be too heavy, as it's a Friday, or this Thursday going into a Friday, or Friday if you're on the other side of the world. And I want us to be able to have conversations about things that do allow us to stop and think. But some things I think are best discussed in private. We can try to see if it's not going to be something that's too triggering just to go back and listen to. And if there are topics that you feel like, again, here are the topics, I'll go through them or scroll over these as I'm talking about them. But if any of these topics make you to feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, I encourage you, if you go back and you're listening to the VOD, to please just move forward. But I also feel like it's something to face the things that we have fears around, to be able to heal through them. If you're familiar with CPTSD, um, one of the main, or the main part of that that allows that trauma to keep coming back and back, is that the brain itself does not complete what is known as a trauma loop. And the trauma loop allows your mind to physically communicate to the body, this trauma, this scary thing, is no longer real. It's just something in our mind, and we don't have to actively, physically, or mentally have responses to something that may, in appearance, seem similar, but we can proceed with caution if something sets off one of our little alarm bells, right? Like if someone, for instance, has a trauma with dogs because they were attacked with, or not attacked with, but they were attacked by a dog as a child, right? When they grow up, they may be like, oh my God, I don't like dogs anymore. But you can also work through that trauma, right? You can go to therapy for it. You can just have a friend that happens to have a really well-trained, loving animal. And then in time, you see, oh, I really don't have to have this same fear anymore. So your brain completes that trauma loop. When we have CPTSD, our brain never does that. And that trauma appears to be the same as it was on the first day that it happened. So it's very hard comparatively to someone who works through the emotions. They don't see that threat as something that is current and real anymore. And so their brain does not set off all of the alarm bells. There's no what's known as guarding in the body, which means that your body has physical responses as if the threat is right there with you. So it's really, really important to be able to acknowledge and recognize your triggers and try to work through them. And if it's something where it is like CPTSD, where the person is not able to work through the trauma because that trauma loop is never completed, you do what you can to have healthy buffers in life and continue to live life as normally, and I say that with quotes, as normally as you can. And it's okay to not be like everybody else. Some people handle things completely different than others, and that's fine. You don't have to do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, and you absolutely never should. You absolutely never should. So these are the topics that they have here. I will go over these one more time to see if there's some that we can kind of take off that are not as heavy. And if there is something that comes up where it does seem a little too scary or a little too heavy, we'll see if there's a possibility to going over that topic. So I think talking about verbal violence is okay. And I say that with a, is it an addenda? Is that the word that I'm looking for? I say that with a, what's the word? Addendum. I think. I say that with an addendum of physical violence is just as harmful as physical violence. And anyone who says otherwise does not understand how trauma works in the mind. So don't let anyone ever make you feel like, oh, it's just words. Someone can harm someone with words every single day, and that person in time can eventually become worn down to where they believe that those mean things said to them are real. And it replaces their own belief in themselves. It replaces all the good things that maybe others or themselves had told them about themselves. And those mean words become a big bad monster. So verbal violence is just as harmful as physical violence. And sometimes some people may say it's even worse because someone can punch you in the eye and you get a black eye, and guess what? It's heals, right? And you won't see it anymore when you look in the mirror. But verbal violence and mean things, they can stay in your heart and mind forever. Forever, ever, ever. And it can be very hard for you to make those words disappear. It can be very hard for you to get your mind to be quiet with those very harmful things. So please do remember that physical and verbal violence are both equally wrong, and depending on the person, both can be equally harmful. Yes? Good. Okay. So I think we'll go forward with physical and verbal violence. Drugs, alcohol, I think we can talk about these because I think substance abuse is very common because we have a lot of issues with escapism. And your dream siren brings this up because in order for you to manifest your dreams, you have to be focused. You have to have laser sharp focus inside your heart and your mind, and you can't allow yourself to get distracted. And sometimes we can use drugs or alcohol to distract ourselves from the things that are really, really important because they seem really, really scary. And maybe we feel like we're not ready yet. But guess what? You are. And I'm here cheering you on every single step of the way. So we'll uncheck these so that we can talk about them. Poverty. I think poverty is another thing that is a subject that is safe to discuss, but is because it is something that affects many, many populations all over the world. And I think it's a very safe subject to talk about. And if anyone is ever shaming you about what you have or what you don't have, please understand that material things do not make you the person that you are in life. And it is the content of your heart and the character that you carry in this life that really, really makes you who you are. So don't ever fear that because you don't have something physical that somebody else has, or as they say, trying to keep up with the Joneses, you can really, really find yourself in a trap and lose sight of your dream of what is really, really important. Okay? All right, my dreamers. Sexuality and sexual violence. These are two very, very heavy subjects. And I think on another day, we will come back and we will revisit these subjects because sexual violence and sexuality are very prominent issues as well in our society. But I think when it comes, just like with physical violence, right? With sexual violence, depending on how a person is raised, like within purity culture, for example, your thought of who you are can feel completely diminished if something like this happens to you. And some people, the moment that they hear even the word about, being raped or being touched inappropriately, it can just cause the mind to absolutely close down. And we don't want that. We want to have open flow of communication tonight. So we'll skip over these two, okay? Mental illness. I think this is a great subject for us to talk about because it coincides with all of these first subjects here, right? Poverty affects the mind. Violence of any sort also affects our mental health and our perspective of how we see ourselves. And drugs and alcohol skew our vision and our physical capability to really see who we are and to be capable of achieving and doing the things that we need to do. All right? So we'll keep mental illnesses as well. We will skip self-harm because I feel like that's also one of those subjects that's very, very sensitive and easily can send someone spiraling. Same with on the same level of sexual violence and sexuality. And that is not to say that these don't deserve the same amount of our attention. We will come back to these subjects again, but I do want us to be able to kind of coast through into the weekend and still have good feelings, right? And I think these are things that can easily send someone into a spiral, more so than some of these others, right? Um, Discrimination. I think we'll skip over that one as well because that can tie into being discrimination, being discriminated because of your sexuality, um, or being discriminated against because, you know, you might be poor or because you're an addict. So we'll kind of skip over that because we're going to kind of touch on aspects of that or these other subjects, and this kind of is an all-encompassing one. Yes. All right. Insults. Mm, I think we can keep insults because it might tie. Or do you think that that would be repetitive? Do you think that that would be repetitive to verbal violence, or maybe insults would be a lighter aspect of verbal violence? So maybe we're safe to keep that one. Death we'll skip over as well tonight because that's a very, very heavy subject as well. Eating disorders because it's kind of repetitive because we're already going to be discussing mental health, and eating disorders, or ED, are categorized as mental health disorders. Okay. Religion and beliefs. I think that that's a very broad subject, so we'll skip that one for tonight as well. War, we'll skip that as well for this evening. Cruelty to animals, I think that can tie into certain mental health disorders, such as sociopathy, and I'm trying to think of the other one. But cruelty to animals is usually a telltale sign in adolescence that that child may be suffer from psychopathy. So we'll skip that one as well for now too. But please don't do anything mean to animals. They're so harmless and they just don't know what's going on. It's our job as stewards of the earth to be kind to every living thing, right? All right, physical health, I think, is safe to talk about because I don't think that, I think maybe it'll be something like don't be so sedentary, or how can you motivate yourself? And I think that that can really help us to discuss how we can achieve our dreams. Sometimes you might just feel like, I don't want to do it today. I don't want to do it today. Or you don't feel the physical motivation to get up and do what you need to do to achieve your goals. So we'll keep that one on. And then disappearance and kidnapping, we will also skip that one for this evening or this morning, depending on where you are, because I think that that can also tie into death, depending on the situation. So, our topics for this evening, and thank you so much for being so patient while we went through and discussed these. Your Dream Siren appreciates you. Verbal violence, physical violence, drugs and alcohol, poverty, mental health, and physical health. Oh, sorry, and insults. So those will be our subjects tonight. And if I feel like there's anything that might be a little too scary for my dreamers, because I do want you to leave here with good a good mental space, in a good mental space, so that you can rest sweetly if you are going to go to bed after this, or if you're getting ready and starting your day. I want you to not leave feeling badly. So I will promise that at the end of stream, what I will do is try to read us something sweet and positive. If the air feels a little bit too heavy, I'll try to find a short poem to read that is a little bit inspirational. Okay. And my tummy was feeling a little bit upset, so I've got a little ginger ale here, which is not what I wanted. I wanted to make s'mores because we're gonna be by the fireside. But my tummy is like, no. So we have ginger ale instead. Though I actually could have made myself a nice ginger tea. I might do that once we get to our hour break here in about 15 minutes. All right, and then we've got our graphics. You can change what screen you have it on, full screen or windowed. Ooh, you can change different particles or shake lenses, textile effect. Ooh, dyslexia typography. Yay, that's so cool. Doesn't it seem like it's a little bit too... Is that that? Oh, it is that. But do we want that? Oh, there's our hour reminder. Um, Stream has been going for about 45 minutes, but normally when our little chibis fall, we like to take a little stretch. So please stretch out your little body. Mm. Allow yourself to get recozied and comfortable. Now, do we want... I myself am dyslexic, so it does help me to see that, but like this is very difficult to read for me, but I also like the way that that looks. It's like soft and pretty. So I'm wondering how it's going to come across to you. It's probably better for the text to be legible, right? So that way everyone can see what's going on. And then text size is normal, large, or very large. We can go with large just to make sure that no matter what device you're watching from, because sometimes I feel like when I watch YouTube from my TV, letters that are like lettering that's small, it looks a little funky on the stream, like out of place. Like it's not that it's not able to be that I'm not able to read it. It just feels weird. I'm like, why is everything else so big and you're so little? So we'll do that. And then our audio, um, global. Okay, so that must be the background music and then music. Oh, that's also music and then sound effects, which is our fireplace. So please let me know if the audio levels are good or if we need to make adjustments. All right, so let us continue then. I guess we go with, who are you? Who are we, dreamers? Oh, there's no bunny. Okay, cat supremacy then. Oh, this is actually really cute. You have different roles that you can be. So we can be the bear. He looks so serious though. We can be the kitty working the counter at the cashier. Ooh, he was a skater boy. He's a see you later boy. Sorry. Penguin just chilling at the beach selling ice cream, you know, for these hot summer days. Axolotl. Oh, I'm just gonna sit here and play with my plant. And be yourself. I kind of like the bumblebee too, though. And there's 3 down here that are not. Oh, the background sounds are so nice. Hmm. I really like all of these. I'm such a cat girl, though. Let's see. Can we? We can change how they look. How cute. Oh, okay. Let's see. Kitty? I kind of like this spot. Oh, the heart! Because we have hearts on us as well, too, on our big model. And then is this the color of our marks? It is. Well, I kind of want it to match, because can we change our ear color? Okay, no, that just changes with... Okay, should we do purple? Because there's no pink. Or blue? The blue is actually nice. It's very midnight. Oh, that's actually cute too, though. They're all nice. Hmm. Well, I definitely want the purple, pink, maroon color because it kind of goes with our color scheme. So I guess we'll have to find which one of these goes best with our model color scheme. It might be the purple Durple. Although we could be an orange cat because who doesn't like Silly orange gatos. But the blue is a vibe, and our butterflies are blue too. So then we've got blue for our butterflies and pink for our pink butterflies. And I think that's cute. Oh, what is this? Oh, we can change our speech bubble color. Oh, these are so cute. I love how they do this. Good job, devs. Well done, well done. Hmm. Is it too much pink? uh, oh, how cute. Okay, what color should our shirt be then? Just all decked out in purple. mm, I love all of these. Okay, the two blue is kind of clashing. Hmm. Maybe we can go with that. And then our pants. Pantalones. The khaki? Kind of like with this attire. Oh, actually, we kind of can make it match our current outfit. Even though we have like a little crop top on. We got the gold top with like the yellow bottoms. Kind of matches. I think we'll keep that. Oh, what did we skip? Oh, okay. You're about to share emotions with players from all over the world. To keep these exchanges respectful, we carefully filter messages. However, some topics may still be sensitive or triggering, which is kind of what we just discussed. We've pre-disabled certain themes. If you want to manage them, click here. And that's what we just did. And now it comes up again. That's so sweet. I really like this game so far. So again, we're going to talk about verbal violence, or these are the subjects that may come up. Physical violence, drugs, alcohol, poverty, mental illness, insults, and physical health. We should take. I think okay. And do we go now? Are we ready? We turn off our device because we're trying to be one with nature. Turn it off. Let's go. To feel comfortable in one's own skin. That was the achievement we just got. Sparks back. Oh, hello. Are you joining us? Okay, scroll down to find the campfire. Oh, look at the night sky. Oh, here we are. Click continue, or click to continue the conversation. Spark says, oh, I just love meeting new people. Now, before we get into this, we're just about at our real hour of streaming. So we'll go ahead and take a quick break. I'm going to go grab a ginger tea. And hopefully that'll help settle my belly as well as help my throat. And we'll be back soon. Tadaima! Alright, my dears, we are back. Let us begin. I did get myself some ginger tea, so hopefully that will feel a little bit better for my belly. Some of the some of the medicines that I have to take make me feel very nauseous, so it's very annoying. But that's okay. Alright, so click to continue the conversation. Oh, I just love meeting new people. We were actually just talking about friendship. I'm so glad you're here. It's always so lovely to chat all night long with friends. I myself am truly a lover of stargazing and staying outside and just talking about nothing and talking about everything. I actually saw a falling star last week. Well, it was probably a meteorite because it was a very, very bright, beautiful blue, and I love that. I might actually, because it's very nice this evening, might go out and sit for a little bit just to watch the stars. Would you like to go out with me too? I'm so glad you're here. It's always so lovely to chat with chat all night with friends. What's your relationship with friendship? Let's see. Do you think we'll manage to become friends? Spark asked you a question. Now it's your turn to answer. Click on the bubble to start writing your response. Click on this button to divide your response into multiple bubbles. Oh! Why would we need more than one? This will make this will make it easier to read for other players. Click on this button to send your response once you're done, or Control Enter on the keyboard. All right. So our question was, do you think we'll manage to become friends? Do you think spending all night talking underneath the moonlight and sitting by the warm fire that you and I would become friends one day? I think that we would, especially if the conversation flowed really nicely. And I think even in moments that it didn't, if we still had a common ground that we shared, that we can make it through anything together. So we're going to say all of that again. Set to start. Now, an axolotl passing by it's the axolotl passing by's answer, turn to answer. An axolotl passing by is a real player who answered the same question as you in their own game. So we get to see, like it was explaining, how different people explain or respond to the same answer. An axolotl passing by is an anonymous nickname, not the real username of the player you're interacting with. Similarly, your answers will also be used anonymously in the game of other players, which is why we encourage you to be kind in your responses. So, an axolotl passing by says, "Oh, I don't know. You were just a fire program to say things. Oh, I don't know who the developer is or the other person is." That's a very fair response. Oh, scroll through the sky, or scroll through the sky to view the discussion history. Okay. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. I don't know. We will. I don't think we will become friends because I don't know who you are, and we will probably never talk again. Probably. Spark. You'll see. It's always magical to remake the world around a good campfire. Plus, you both seem like two people who will quickly become friends. Sometimes life puts people in your path and boom! Mimu, has it ever happened to you? Meeting someone and instantly knowing they'd become a friend? Hmm, let's see. I think, in a general statement, let's try this. Oh, we should probably add another one. Please forgive my spelling hiccup. All right, we said, I think when I was younger, I thought that everyone on first meeting was my friend. But in time, I learned to distinguish between an acquaintance and a friend, which neither are bad, as an acquaintance has the potential to grow into a long lasting friendship. What do you guys think? And you? I don't think so. I always doubt myself when it comes to making new friends. Also, look at the little charm on his tail. That's so cute. We love tails. All my friendships, even my best friend of 9 years, I fought for to maintain it. We argued and had moments when we didn't talk for months on end. Only recently, I found myself in a place where I am surrounded by friends, and I am still scared I could lose them. That's very real and very, very truthful. It's hard to make and keep friends, but I think that's why they are so valuable. Oh, I love Oxalotl passerby response. You never know if the person you are talking to at a point in your life about random stuff, even arguing about things that don't really matter, won't stay in your life for years to come. As long as we're surrounded by the right people, right? Do you prefer having lots of friends around you or just a few close ones? Dreamers, what do you think? Do you like having a lot of friends around? Or do you just like having a couple of close buddies who you can call friends? I think I should probably type before I lose my idea. All right. Do you prefer having lots of friends around you or just a few close friends? Hmm. Wow. 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 No. Hmm. No. Okay. At any time, you can leave the discussion or return to the main menu. When you reopen the game, you can pick up the discussion where you left off. All right, let's go back up and read what we said before we read Oxawatl Passing Buyer's response. I believe it can be overwhelming when there are lots of friends to keep up with, and being someone who likes to really pour all of themselves into the people around them, that can be very stressful. Having less friends, but quality friendships, means that no one feels that that they are lacking or missing anything. It means there is more space for mutual understanding and mutual giving too. In a way, this feels safer. On the other side, having a large group of friends allows for one to not be too involved, and in a way, someone in the group always has someone to turn to if they need. And you? And if you go back and you're watching the VOD, please feel free to share your comments in share your share your comments to the answers in the VOD. I would love to hear them. Or if you feel like it's something personal that you want to share with your Dream Siren, please feel free to write a marshmallow and I would love to read it as well too. I do accept marshmallows from those who may not want them to be who may not want to feel like sharing big things with everyone. But as your dream siren, it is my job and proud responsibility to hold your dreams and your most intimate things within my heart, okay? Just make sure you're still following the rules. An oxalotl passing by says, I don't know. Oh, wait, that wasn't our voice, or his voice. I don't know. I grew up alone and bullied, so every friend I am happy to have. Oh, it's really
Moshi Moshi.
Mushy Mushy. Hello, dear. Mwah. How has your day been thus far? We are playing Fireside Feelings, which is a game that talks about feelings around a campfire, and they're real responses from other players who have the game, but it's anonymized, so that way you are still carrying a real conversation with someone, and I think that that's really special. So right now we're talking about friendship. And the last question was, do you prefer having lots of friends around you or just a few close ones? And this was our response. It's probably a little bit to read.
Had a good dream. I become friend with an Italian girlfriend in my college and obviously in my dream. What about you?
Yay! Oh, that's so awesome! I love that you had a good dream. Yay, yay, yay! I have had a very beautiful day and now having a wonderful evening with my dreamers. I'm very happy today, but do have a little bit of upset tummy just from some of our medicine. But other than that, everything has been wonderful today. You could say I am hoarding friends. Either way, I don't have a preference. I have my best friend that I can talk to about anything. I have friends that we are not particularly close, but we fought through drama and community collapses and still talk to each other, months and years after. That's almost kind of like what we said, right? And it's really nice, I think, seeing the commonality in our responses to an absolute stranger. And I think that that's encouraging that, in a way, we all kind of want the same thing sometimes. And maybe that'll make us less afraid. And maybe that'll help us feel less.
Take this.
Mwah. Thank you. Maybe we won't feel so alone. Oh wait, I forgot we have our model that has the kiss. Wait. Oh, not that one. I forget our keybinds. It's this one. But I guess we'll stay with our puffs now since we switched. Why not both? ¿Por qué no los dos? Alright, Spark says, last night I was chatting with a hiker from Slovenia. We get international friends too. And she was telling me about how her little cousin, who in a few minutes made a new friend at the playground.
It's been a long time seeing Lil Mira.
It has. It has. I thought that tonight was appropriate because it's cozy by the fireside. Oh. And she thought to herself, when was the last time you made a friend? Like a real one, not just a party buddy or a colleague. A real one, the kind you stay up all night with, remaking the world around the fire. Did you say when you last made a friend like that? How did it happen? What made you take that step? Wow, that was a lot of questions. Spark, slow down. We just met. Jeez, no. So let's go back and look at some of these, some of the questions then. When was the last time that you made a friend? Like a real friend. The one that you stay up all night with.
Here, friend too.
Yes, this first subject has been all about friendships. Let me scroll back up really quick so you can see. And it's really nice because we get to look at the sky. Okay. So this is when we first joined, and we were talking about friendship. So the first question was, do you think we'll manage to become friends? And again, the responses are between you and another player, but the other player is anonymous. And we're anonymous too, but our responses will be used to conversate with other players. And you also have the choice to not do this if you don't want to. You don't have to do that at all. The next question was, has it ever happened to you meeting someone and instantly knowing they'd become a friend? And the next question after that was, do you prefer having lots of friends around you or just a few close ones? And now we are at, when was the last time you made a friend? Like a real one, not just a party buddy or a colleague. A real one, the kind that you stay up all night with, remaking the world with around a fire. Could you say when you last made a friend like that?
I just witnessed this all in my dream means all occurred today.
Oh my gosh, look at the. Ah, I love when we have synchronicities like that. That's so cool. Mhm. Yay, 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 yay. That's so neat, baby. All right. Well, we can give your response. Would you like to type a response to this and then I'll input it into the chat? Because I think that that's a really nice way to keep that energy flowing, right? So we could say that I just witnessed this all in my dream, and it'll mean that it's going to occur today. But I think they're asking when was the last time that you feel like you met a real friend? And how did that happen and what made you take that step? So let's think about it. Because defining a friendship is different for everyone, right? As we've seen. So for me personally, I feel like
Hope it'll work, not sure.
I hope it'll work for you too, baby. I hope that it is the beginning of a lifelong or at least a friend through a very good couple of seasons. Because that's one, I guess one way that I personally look at friendships after I feel like comfortable to call someone really a friend, right? Like not someone who's an acquaintance that you don't really give them too much, you don't really reveal too much. They're just someone nice to talk to every now and again, right? But someone who is like a real friend that you've been through things with, you have a mutual respect for one another, there's a mutual flow of giving and taking. It's not just all on one side. And even though people fight, so I don't want to say that like, oh, if you fight with someone, they're not your friend. A fight is a really good way to see if someone's actually your friend or not. So, it's all on how you as an individual define what a friendship is.
BTW, that means someone is playing this too? Want me
Yes.
to find among this 8 billion plus population?
This is very true, dear. The game is actually on sale right now as well on Steam. But yes, these are all real players' responses. And I don't know if it means that they're actually playing right now or if they're saved responses, which is what I think it might be. I think they might be saved responses. I don't know. We'll have to go back and look at that later. If it's a saved response or someone who's actually playing, because does that mean that that person would have to sit here and wait for us to respond? So I think that it might be that the answers are saved, and that when a new player comes on to play the game, that they get a random person's response. And I still think that that's really neat. I still think that's really neat. So this is hmm.
Yeah. Otherwise they'll raid here and say just answer.
So I guess the way that we could answer this, going back to what we said before about the difference between a friendship and an acquaintance, the last time that I feel like I met someone who is like a lifelong friend and not, oh, that's what I was getting ready to say. So we can have different levels of friends, right? I think that you can have a friend who is there for maybe like a season, right? And they're there for a purpose. And then after that purpose is served, maybe you met them randomly, you were going through something, they helped you go through whatever it was that you went through, and then they moved on and you moved on, and there's no hard feelings, nobody did anything wrong. That person was there, or you were that person who was there
What'll be the answer?
for a
I can't
purpose.
think anything other than today's unfair dream.
Why was it unfair? It sounded like it was good. Or you have like friends who last through seasons or like lifelong friends. And maybe that's someone that you grew up with through childhood, or maybe it's someone that you've met recently that you just kind of know in your heart that this is someone that I'm going to be friends with for a really, really long time. So I would say the most recent person, because I have a set of rules in my mind, including the length of time that I need to know someone to feel like
Unfair because it only lasts approx 8 HRS.
approximately 8 hours. Oh, well, hopefully it'll be more than 8 hours in time. But I feel like because I have a certain amount of time that I feel like I need to know someone before I would give them the distinction of being called like a real friend like that and not a seasonal friend. But I'm going to take this as like a lifelong friend, someone who I could stay up all night with and sit around the fire. So for me, hmm, when was the last time that you made a friend like that? And could you say when you last made a friend? Oh, okay. And then how did it happen? And what made you take that step? Okay. Oh, you guys can't see my mouse because can I? Let me change it. I have the cutest little mouse. But you can't see her. Let's see. Hold on. Um, I'll capture cursor. Is that it? Will it show? Yay! Okay, look, it's a little cat paw. I usually don't like to have the mouse on because some games have different mouse cursors. And sometimes it just feels like a distraction to have like your mouse on screen and then you kind of have to like move it on and off screen or not. But look at it, it's a kitty
Think
paw.
Mimo think.
Think, think, think. Okay. Oops. I don't want to say naked skin. Oh, I forgot. We were supposed to break this up into two things. Let's see. Can I control copy? You can. Oh, you can change the text writing direction, display, control characters. Oh, cool. Okay, so we're going to copy that and then delete, and then we're going to add, and then we're going to paste. Yay. Okay. Um,
Definitely not me. Obviously I'll ask about you.
So my rule, general rule for myself, which this friend that I'm speaking of and this response helped me to come up with, I don't consider anyone to be a like long lifetime friend, like someone that I really probably will keep in my life for a long time until that person has really been a good friend to me for at least 2 years. Anything prior to that you're still an acquaintance to me. And that I think is a very good safeguard in general, which I do advise people to have. I don't think that people should be so quick to call someone a friend because in your mind, you're going to feel like I can just say or share anything with this person. And maybe, 6 months, everything is going well, a year, everything's going well. And then, you know, that person can change, right? Just like seasons. And you've shared all of these things that you should have sort of protected against to being very open with. And then you feel vulnerable and then you become scared because, oh, this person didn't really feel the way about me that maybe I thought that they did. So I think 2 years is a good amount of time to be an acquaintance with someone. You don't have to, how is it that I learned? You don't have to expose your deepest, darkest things to grow a friendship with someone. You don't have to make yourself completely vulnerable to grow in a friendship. Why don't we have flip flops, by the way, to grow in a friendship with someone, or just no shoes at all? No shoe prisons. All right, let's see what our Oxawaddle passerby says. I think that would be my best friend of 9 years. Yeah, we actually weren't talking a lot. We met on some random Discord server and just hanged out. I had their Twitter, or X if you will, followed because they were an artist, and after we stopped talking because I left that community, I don't think we talked for a year or two. This is kind of a great example of what I'm talking about. Then, when I was lonely, depressed, with no one to talk to, just scrolling and browsing options on Twitter, I found our old chat. I texted him, we added each other on Discord again, found another server, and since then, it's history. I am happy I did that, as random or weird as it seems. I'm happy that he responded instead of ignoring me. And that's a really good example of friendships are a true testament of time, right? I have some friendships that I've had for a very long time, and we won't talk for months at a time. I have some friendships that are lifelong friendships, and I talk to them every day. It is not necessarily how often you talk to someone. Again, it goes back to the quality of those friendships and when you spend time with them, you know, how you leave feeling, right? The impression that that person has on you. If you can meet someone and not talk to them for a whole year and they still have a hold on your heart and your mind, then maybe there's something about that person that you should hold on to. Yeah. I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for him. Oh, I love that.
Agreed.
Agreed. Mwah. Have you ever fallen in love with a friend? And if so, what did you do? I think that everyone should have their best friend as the person that is their partner. And that's another reason why I think you should give a good amount of time before distinguishing someone as a friend. Because if you can grow with that person in a friendship over the course of 2 years, based on the rule that I have set for myself, then who's to say that you can't grow longer with that person in a relationship, right? So that's what's going to be our response. Oops. Should we change it to partnerships? Hmm. How do I want to say that? Oh, I before E, except after C. Wow. I feel like long lasting is one word. All right, let me go back and see what we wrote. I think that the best partnerships are grown out of friendships. Who better to spend your time with than someone who understands you from many perspectives? People are so multifaceted and isolated. Oh, uh, isolating a partnership from a friendship leaves. Can I edit it? No! Leaves a lot of gaps for closeness to grow to between you and that person. So I believe that the best relationships are started from friendships, like growing a garden together. You do the labor together, pull the weeds, water the garden, and in time, it flourishes into something beautiful and long lasting. And you? Our axolotl passerby says, I thought I did, multiple times. It took me about a dozen situations like that to realize that I am not a person that experiences romantic love. Oh, that's a different viewpoint to look at it. Each situation was just, oh, we are friendly with each other. We share interest. I should date them. Fair, fair. But I never asked anyone out, partially out of fear of rejection, but also because I knew it wasn't. Because if it was that, that would mean I fell in love with every person that I met. Fair, fair, fair. There was my first friend ever in elementary school. We hanged out a ton and were very close within a span of a year. We would flirt a lot, make jokes about doing the mattress wrestle, etc. I'm sorry. That's so cute. The mattress wrestle. That's very funny. After her, there was a bunch of people with whom I had similar interactions, but it was just never it for either of us. I like how Spark looks so deep in thought. Like, oh. Then there was my best friend, but he was Eros, which is Ero, aromantic and asexual for anyone who is not familiar with the terminology. So, that idea, I smothered it in its infancy. I like the way they talk. Recently, I had another situation like that actually. Around a year ago, I met a girl. She kept sending me reptiles because she saw me being in a horrible state mentally. My platonic boyfriend broke up with me. At first, I really tried keeping her at a distance, but over time, I liked her more and more. I shared facts about reptiles and tips on how to keep geckos. Yay! At some point, I opened up and we
Not,
became
I
really
did have a
close.
girlfriend in elementary school and we hang out often, and when I thought that, I figured she thought me as her big brother, not, zero.
Oh. So, was it that you were her big brother, or was it that you guys were cozy, cutesy boyfriend girlfriend, or girlfriend girlfriend, or boyfriend boyfriend, or girlfriend boyfriend girlfriend? Trying to make statements generally in my mind, and it's not working. Either way, was it that she felt the same way about you, or was it that you were big brother? Just insert yourself in those pronouns to make sure that you can relate as well to what's being said and you don't feel left out. At some point, I opened up and we became really close since. We flirted, answered questions we were curious about, but scared to ask in a special format we created. Oh, that's so sweet. And that's such a cool thing to be able to create special ways to communicate with someone and not feel like embarrassed about it, because some people are not so good about directly discussing heavy subjects or even something they may deem embarrassing. And it's really nice when someone feels like, hey, well, we can talk about it like this. Or sometimes you'll see people who will create like special, what is it called? Special emotes, and they'll know that when their friend sends them that emote, that this is the particular subject that they're concerned about, or that this is something special that they want to talk about. So that's something really neat. And if you're someone who feels like you might have trouble communicating with friends or sharing your deepest thoughts with people, maybe come up with a list of emotes that are very common to use across different devices, because all devices don't have all the same emotes. Or um, you have special ones that they'll remember, and you can send them to that person and they'll know, oh, okay, I got it. um, okay. And at some point, even though she knew about me being aro, again, that's aromantic, and we're at the top of the hour, so please feel like, please do take a little stretch if you feel like it. Mm. Refresh your drinks and come back to us and get cozy again.
I thought we were friends. I thought it's more like anime-like relationship. Friends, then maybe best friend, then yes, that. But I figured she thinks me as her brother because she is only child of her parents, so yet I
Oh.
did pretend to be her brother for a certain time until she grows up and become embarrassed for her childish behavior.
Oh, you took a sacrifice. You know, it's really mature of you, though, to be able to recognize someone's circumstances and how that might affect their ability to be in a relationship. And I think that that's actually something that a lot of people don't have, whether you want to call that empathy or emotional maturity, even at a young age, to be able to recognize like this person doesn't have this thing, they don't have a brother. And I can fill that space for them because that's something that they need. And I see that that is something that's healthier for them, that's something that's more necessary for them than having a boyfriend, right? But at the same time, kind of going back to like the multifaceted aspects of our relationships, speaking of anime, but no, real, going back to the multifaceted aspects of our relationships with people, we can function in different ways for our.
Just think when it's the day to propose you figured she thinks you as a brother.
I know that's what I was like, no anime, get out of my head. No, but I think being multifaceted in our relationships with people is something that's really important. But I also think that it's really special being able to gauge someone and see their situation and say, I would love to have this type of relationship with them, but this is probably what's healthiest, right? And do you feel like you lost anything by not having the, furthering the relationship and just keeping the friendship? It sounds like you still feel like it was good in the end, right? Mm-hmm. Um, at some point, even though she knew about me being Aro, she said once that she wouldn't mind being with someone like me, although that opinion has changed a couple of times. And that's also like speaking to the last part of what our Oxawaddle fireside camper friend is speaking to. um, People can change over time. So you can tell someone something about yourself, and upon that initial meeting, they're like, oh, yeah, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. And then a couple of years or a couple of months or however long into getting to know that person, they can change their mind on that. And just like you, but I think that there are some things fundamentally that people should not go back and say that this thing about you that I was okay with before, I'm no longer okay with, depending on what that thing is. And when it comes to someone's sexuality, I think that that is something that it is very unfair, someone going back and saying, hey, I was okay with you being, Arrow, which let me let me double check before I aromantic. I want to say that aromantic is someone who. Okay, it refers to a person whose romantic orientation is aromantic. By okay, aromanticism is a romantic orientation characterized by experiencing no romantic attraction. And let's look at that a little bit further, because what is a romantic attraction to someone? Is that someone who's like sexually attracted to someone? Like,
My childhood, I tried to propose a bad girl who
oh,
thinks me as my brother, later discovered, a delinquent, a very smart girl who loves history, I hate the sub most. Obviously rejected.
I hate the subject most. I love history. Oh. Well, I think it's okay still because you gained a friendship out of it. I do feel sad though that you were rejected because you're such a sweetheart. Mwah. All right. Where were we? Okay. Aromantism is defined as having little or no romantic feelings towards others, experiencing little or no romantic desires or attractions. So, some individuals who fall on the aromantic spectrum of identities describe themselves as having experienced romantic love or romantic attraction at some point. Um, and then such aromantics may adopt labels for more specific identities, such as gray romantic or demi. Um, And some aromantic people may find it difficult to determine whether they experience attractive romantic attraction. As such, those who are aromantic may have trouble distinguishing platonic affection from romantic affection. Aromantic people may form non romantic relationships of all types and may be able to enjoy sexual relationships. They may also choose to have children, and studies indicate that aromantic individuals are no less likely to have children than alloromantic individuals, which is people who experience like regular romantic feelings for people. So, yeah, that is what aromantic is for anyone who is curious or not in the know. Um, okay. Although that opinion has changed a couple of times. So basically, I think, and this kind of goes back to the point that I was saying earlier about if you know, call someone a friend, right, or into a relationship after knowing someone a couple of months, and you tell them these things, very intimate things about you, like up close and personal, and they're like, yeah, 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 that's absolutely fine with me, absolutely fine with me. And then down the line, that person is like, actually, I'm not okay with that. And, can you change that about yourself? I feel like that's very a disingenuous thing to do, because if you accepted someone in one way, then I feel like it's very unfair to come back and say, I want you to not be this way. And mostly, specifically, that has to do with people's boundaries that they set. I don't believe that it's okay to ask someone to change a boundary because you're not having a need met. There are plenty of people in the world, and if you have a need that cannot be met in that relationship or friendship, instead of forcing someone to uh, remove that boundary, which also could cause them to feel unsafe, you can find someone who doesn't have that boundary and go in a direction that you feel like you want for yourself. So that's my opinion on that. I really considered asking her out. We were going to meet up in a couple of months, and I really thought that this is it. She may be the one. And we did meet up. Had a ton of fun, but I decided against it. Simply because I knew it was not it, and that I would not be able to maintain our friendship while we would be in a relationship. Apologies for that tangent. Oh, don't apologize. That was very awesome that they're so open. I really like that people are actually very seemingly genuine. This is the first person that we've met, but seeming very genuine with their responses. Because it provides a lot of reflection points for people to think for themselves. And I find that when we're open to a certain point with people, depending on what scenario that's in, it allows others to also feel more vulnerable as well too. So, that's why you kind of really have to gauge what you share about yourself with someone, um, because it can be a situation where you open up about something, and that person doesn't have that same exchange with you where they share something very intimate, and you can kind of feel disheartened by that. Like you can feel very open and raw because, like, oh man, I just shared something really big and they didn't share anything with me. And that's kind of speaking to that like mutualism, right? Or they don't engage with you after you share that big thing, and maybe they don't necessarily have a similar experience, but they don't engage with what you said, and especially depending on what the conversation is, right? So like if you share something like, I was adopted and I feel really insecure in most of my relationships with people because I feel like someone's always going to be leaving me. And that person's just like, oh, I come from a two-parent household. I know who my parents are. And they don't say anything like empathetic towards you, or, and even asking questions. Like some people feel like they always have to be providing solutions, and you don't have to do that. Sometimes when people are conversating with you, they just want recognition, right, for saying something, and they want to be heard. Sometimes people want solutions, and you kind of have to come prepared, or you can tell that person, I don't have anything to say right now and I need to think upon it, but I promise I'll get back to you, right? Or if you're someone who just wants to be engaging, you can ask questions and it'll show that person like, hey, I'm keeping up with what you're saying. I'm interested in what you're saying. And they won't feel, like, oh, I just shared something about myself and this person's just like, huh? So yeah. Boop, 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 says Spark. You've probably also lost friends, I imagine, like all of us. For me, it's almost every time the sun rises. But when I talk about losing a friend, who comes to your mind immediately? Hmm. Okay. Um, I'll go back and read that very quickly. When I think about losing a friend, I think of one of my
Feel
dearest.
sorry to hear that.
It's okay, dear. It's okay. If I didn't want to be open about it, I wouldn't have shared it, right? But I want to be open so that way we can truly engage and explore this game together. And like I said, sometimes by us being open, it allows other people around us to feel safe to be open as well. And as your loving dream siren, that is my job to make sure that my dreamers feel safe, to be seen, and to know that whatever they have set for themselves is it's possible, right? Mm-hmm. So, when I think about losing a friend, I think of one of my dearest friends who passed away in a war. They were someone who was like a walking sunshine and always brightened up my day. They never made me feel uncomfortable about who I was or what I looked like, and they in general were a good person to all of our friend group, kind of the middleman to make sure we all stayed connected to each other. Their life was taken doing what they loved, saving another person's life. And I think that if they could say something to me right now, they would say that they were thankful to be there for another, even in their last moments on earth. And you? Sorry, that was hard to read. Now let's read our axolotl passing by passerby. Oh, it's cruel to pick a single person. I lost so many friends. I can talk about one friend specifically though, as he wasn't straight up evil like some others, but it did feel like I lost him because I cut contact with him, and that's somewhat unique. The lost friend I will call R6. You will see in a second why. R6 and me were both passionate writers and nerds. We met in a community he managed and lost contact when I left that community. Then, randomly browsing my email, I saw that he invited me to a closed beta for Rainbow Six Extraction like a week earlier, hence me calling him R6. I joined a different community he managed, and while it was an uncomfortable community to be in, I stayed because I liked him. But he changed. The community was really sexual in nature, and it turned into somewhat of an incel community. I saw him get dumped by his girlfriend in the previous community, but I didn't expect the turn would be this sharp. He grew bitter and resentful, paranoid of women even. I left when he accused me, and this is not me joking, of being a Russian spy during a conversation about the Ukraine war, where I was talking from a perspective of someone that had a Russian friend who is stuck in Russia. I think that was the moment when I had to accept the fact that it wasn't the R6 I met. R6 I met was a gentle soul, a passionate writer who liked cool stories and exploring deeper ideas. R6 I left was an incel, someone who hated women, who was bitter at the world and felt like anything he would say didn't have any consequences. Someone that it hurt me, someone that, sorry, someone that it hurt me to even talk to him because I saw how much he changed for the worse. Someone whose passion for writing was replaced by hate and spite, hiding insecurities he had. I can't help but wonder if I could have changed something, if I could have dug up the old R6 from deep within. But alas, I have no way of contacting him anymore. I myself made sure to torch that bridge at every possible level, back when I was hurt by his accusation and couldn't take the discomfort of being in that community anymore. Wow, that was really sad. And like I really appreciate the vulnerability that this game allows for people to talk about things. We'll definitely we'll definitely be playing this again because I think it'll help people to kind of navigate around different insecurities that they might have, and we can and when we can have breakthroughs about our insecurities, right? That helps us to be able to get closer to our dreams. And always as your dream siren, I want to do anything that can bring you closer to that. Hmm. Hmm. So, um, I guess the one thing that I want to go back to about what our Oxawaddle passerby said, that kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the last question of meeting someone and asking them to change something about themselves. We can also have friends or partners that we get into relationships with, regardless of what the time is. And that person themselves can go through things and they can change as well. And we have to decide for ourselves, is it for me? Is it in my best interest to stay friends with someone who maybe has different views that I have now? And there's nothing wrong with having different viewpoints and perspective than our friends on certain subjects. Um, I think it's great to have people that have different ideals in life because it allows us to grow maybe in some things that we're not familiar with and we didn't have that information before, right? Like all knowledge is worth having. And you just have to choose very wisely what you do with it, okay? So But the extremes of this person's change, right? They're talking about this person was a gentle soul when they met them. And then to go on the fact of being someone who becomes an incel and very full of hatred and just generally bitter towards the world, right? Like it probably wasn't healthy for them to stay in a friendship with that person because they were not that way, right? And they were not full of hatred. And when someone's changes causes them to be very mean to you, a discussion definitely should be had with that friend. And sometimes it's hard to have those conversations with people that, we hold very dear to, when they say things very extreme or mean about us. Sometimes you just know, like, this isn't the person that I knew before.
Went for breakfast.
What did you have for breakfast then? Oh, Kairi.
Okari.
I have determined that our Bibu Boppy is black because instead of saying Ulkairi, she says okra. And okra is a very yummy black southern dish.
Okari.
See? She says okra. But yes, okairi. You're supposed to say tadaima, which is I'm back. But yeah, like if you have someone that you've known, regardless of the time, and they have such extreme changes in their personality that it becomes harmful to you, or you see that their behavior is harmful to people who are not you, you absolutely have the right to walk away from that friendship and close that door, especially if you see that there's nothing that you can do to help that person realize, like, this is really not, this isn't it, fam. This isn't it. So, yeah. All right. Next question. And we are at about 2 hours. So, within the hour or within the next 50 minutes, we will be closing down stream and our cozy time here in Somnium together. And if you haven't and you're watching, please follow us here. Your Dream Siren, me, Miramushi, would love to have you to come back with us, and so would my sweet little Lumi here as well too. We would love to have you come back and spend a night with us here in Somnium and spending time under the willow, where sometimes we like to read books, sometimes we just like to have cute little cozy zatsus with deep, insightful, thoughtful conversations, and sometimes, but not as often as other spaces found on the YouTube sphere, sometimes we game. So, yeah, and thank you for being here. Mm. All right, Spark. Speaking about breakups, have you ever ended a friendship because you thought it was better for you, as we just got done talking about? All right. That you love that person in one way or another, but it wasn't good for your well being to have them around, or simply to be so close to them. Yeah. You can tell that I'm nervous typing it out. Oh, goodness. Mousy move. Uh, there we go. Oh no, I forgot we were supposed to do that thing again. Um, Here, we'll take it from here then. Copy. What? I won't go into detail about what happened, but yeah, it was. I'm still very much believed to this day. Um,
Hi, I pop in to say hello.
Hello, dear. How are you? Mwah. All right. Let's go back and read the question again.
I'm good, just finished a 3-hour stream, but many hugs.
Oh, very good, honey. How was your stream? Okay, speaking about breakups, have you ever ended a friendship because you thought it was better for you? And this is my response very quickly. One of my deepest and loving friendships ended due to them being very selfish, and that blinded them to the harm that they were doing to the people around them. I myself am a disabled person, and at the very near point of our friendship ending, I was temporarily paralyzed from the waist down. My dearest best friend was to come and help me, as this was a recent happening and they wanted to drive me around and help around my home. This unfortunately is not how things went, and instead they took advantage of me at one of the lowest points in my life. When it was all said and done,
Stream was fun, had no people watch me, but it's at I had fun, so that all that matters.
that is all that matters, dear, and I'm very glad. When it was all said and done, after they left, they blamed me and said I was over exaggerating. But for example, the first night they arrived, I was stuck on my bathroom floor for almost an hour due to the immense pain that I was in. How could you take advantage of anyone after seeing them in such a condition? And to make it hurt more, I even offered that they did not need to make the trip, as I knew that it was a lot to have to care for me. Sometimes you never know how things will turn out, and it still hurts my heart very much to this day. And you? And now let's see what our axolotl friend says.
I think I am at a um, I think I am at this place in my life right now. The girl I mentioned earlier, the one I met with IRL and wanted to ask out, I just feel it. Feels like I can't talk to her anymore. I'm scared when I talk to her about anything deep because I feel like if she won't like my answer, she will explode in my face. It happened multiple times, and it keeps happening. And every time she makes me feel guilty for doing something wrong. But at a fundamental level, I don't know what I did wrong. If I gave her an extensive answer to something, I am making it about me. If I try to avoid confrontation, she says she was wrong to trust me.
Oh,
And I'm trying so hard to be true to myself so that she doesn't lose that something that made me be her close friend in the first place. But at the same time, I am looking for ways to avoid her from blowing up in my face again. Everyone whom I asked for advice, with her privacy in mind of course, told me she's toxic and that I should cut her off. But I don't want to. I want a friend of mine back. Someone that I could talk to without being scared she would rip into me and walk away thinking she won. That I was wrong and I apologized and that it's all good for now. Quoting Kylo Ren, while it is a meme, I almost think it's a great quote. I also think it's a great quote. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. This is the first time I am in such a situation where someone that hurts me so much I am desperately trying to keep. It hurts a lot.
oh, that's really hard. And I would say in situations like this, when, like, if you do have a friend, right, and you feel like the way that they address you is harmful to you, that in certain situations, right, like it's okay for you to say, "Can you please address me a certain way?" or "Can you please talk to me a certain way?" because the way that you talk to me really hurts my feelings. And if someone makes fun of you in any way for saying that they should adjust their tone when speaking to you, I would really question that person's ability to hear you in any other conversation, because it's nothing to stop and check in with yourself. Like, say, if you're the person who's kind of making the other person feel like they're being yelled at or something like that, and that's saying that if you, the person, did nothing wrong and this person is yelling at you, right? Like, I'm not going to say that if you're someone who is intentionally hurting someone, or if it's like, you know, the millionth time that you've had to have a conversation with someone about something and they're genuinely frustrated with you, you should probably expect for that person to kind of, you know, be like, what's going on? Like, why aren't you hearing me? I've tried to address this with you in a soft and loving way, and you're not receptive to that. I've tried to discuss it with you, in a very just like point blank way, and you're still not receptive to that. So, sometimes people do have more explosive responses to people because they feel like their voice has been quieted. But that is not this situation that our oxalotl passerby is talking about. They're talking about this person. It sounds like just being very
The message didn't go earlier because my network connection. Sorry.
Oh no!
You did go through a lot.
I have, dear. It's okay. But that's why I became a dream siren so that I could help others accomplish their dreams in life. And I think that it's still really important to not be discouraged when things in your own life may no longer be a possibility, but you can still use the knowledge and the tools and the motivation that you have to help others achieve their goals and their dreams. Yes. um, but um, so let's just take this part here. Like, I'm scared when I talk to her about anything deep. Now, I know everybody without going in, well, I can't say everybody. I would hope that everybody understands that when someone's saying like, someone who talks about someone deep, because I can acknowledge that, like I can connect with that, being someone who's a little bit of a deep thinker, that people sometimes don't have the capacity to hold those conversations. I was just having a chat earlier about that tonight, and sometimes it feels really great when you find someone and you feel like you can express all of the deep and passionate thoughts that you have about something, only for that person to blow up about how you are talking about something that you really love, or that they I don't know if it's equally worse or just as bad, that they are not receptive to what you're saying, right? Or they just ignore everything that you said. It's very painful. So like I feel very bad for this person, because that's horrible to feel like you can share about something that you really really feel deeply and thought about, and that person like blows up at you for seemingly just sharing something that you really like a lot. And I think, especially, it like, how do I say it? When you've tried, because it sounds like they've tried to address the issue with this person many times, and especially here, but at a fundamental level, I don't know what I did wrong. And this person just seemed to change, right? And so while this person's probably sitting here thinking, like, what can I do to make things better? The person who's yelling at them, right, their friend that they're talking about, doesn't seem very receptive to having that conversation about maybe there's something going on in their own personal lives, because that happens, right? Like, we can be honest about that. Sometimes the people who we have these very loving relationships, sometimes they go through a death in the family, or they lost their job, or like they failed one of their classes at uni, and that
I do
can
feel
put.
bad when I share my moments but don't get any moments or something from other side.
Yeah, it makes you feel very empty, right? I think when we feel encouraged to share our deep thoughts with others, we want that connection with them, right? We don't want to just like move on to the next thing. Like, I just said something really important. Like, hear my voice. But when it like life happens to people all the time, and sometimes they're not aware, like, hey, you're kind of being a little bit mean. I don't know if there's something going on with you. Do you want to talk about it? Or, hey, I know that you just failed that class, and
It feels like one-way road.
it does. It feels like a one-way road, and that's why having mutualism in any friendship or any relationship is super, super, uber, uber vital. So you don't feel unseen in the things that you're saying, or even sometimes someone who's really, really attentive to you, will notice the things that you do without you saying anything, right? They'll notice, like, oh, you got your hair cut. That sounds very silly, but that's one of those things where people feel ignored. Like, I did a bang chop and nobody noticed it. Or, oh my gosh, you got a new fit. Like, that's so cool. Or, they will go and like say that you write stories online and you are kind of scared to talk to people about it. And you have that one friend that goes and checks and be like, "Oh my God, I saw that you posted a new, writing bit and it was really, really good." Like, but again, people go through things in life, right? And if you have a friend that seems a little checked out, whether they're yelling at you or whether they seem to be ignoring you, or if they haven't checked in and you haven't talked to them in a while and you normally talk to them all the time, check in with that friend. Please don't feel discouraged to ask them if there's something going on with them. But if in turn and you trying to check in with them because you have a care for them and they give you a very rude or mean response, then maybe you need to evaluate your friendship with that person. Because maybe like on the first, like, oh my God, yeah, I am going through stuff, like, and they can feel frustrated about it because, man, it's something to them that they can see, oh my God, this is affecting me. Me losing this job is affecting my friendships now. And then they start to feel more guilty, right? And they start to feel more shame because they're trying to hide it. A lot of times people forget that someone's response to the world around them is literally there. It is a clue to what is going on in your internal environment, right? So we have to try to be gentle with people when we recognize, like, oh, they're a little bit shaky right now. Like, they normally don't, get at me like that. So, it's okay for our friends to snap at us sometimes. And I know it still is very hurtful, but sometimes people have a really hard time adjusting to change or struggles that they may have in their own life. And sometimes you need that one friend that's like, "Hey, man, you you got a lot going on right now. Like, do you need space? Is there any way that I can support you? Like, do you just want to vent?" Like, being that person who can recognize when somebody else is going through something, like that's a huge deal. And that's like that one friend that you want to have that's like, "Oh man, like they see me, right? You feel seen." But if you go to check in on someone and they're not open to discussing what's going on, maybe they don't feel safe like having the conversation with you, but at the same time, like your behavior is hurting me. So if you don't want to talk about it, then I'm going to need space for you. That's always an option as well too. But at the end of the day, you try to talk to someone and they're
Correct.
thank you, baby. And they're not being receptive to trying to have that open communication. They're not being receptive to that mutualism, right? Maybe you need to check out of that space for a while. And a while can be like a couple weeks, a while can be six
They don't
months.
follow Newton's third law.
Wait, what was Newton's third law? What is it? But if they don't become receptive to saying, hey, you're doing something that's hurting me, and they're not trying to change or adjust their temperament, then maybe they're not in a space where they can care about you as a person to not hurt you, or maybe they just generally really don't care at all and their true colors are coming through. So those are all things to adjust, to take, what is that called? Those are all things to take notice of when you're evaluating whether or not you belong in a space or not. So don't feel like you need to make any rash decisions, but you should be very, very honest with yourself. And you should be very honest with that person as well too. And don't be scared, okay? Because where you lose one friendship, you will make another. You will make another. There's sort of
Every action has an opposite reaction.
oh,
Mean you slapped your face did slap your hand too.
yes. I I always I get so fascinated about that. Always like when I think about like gravity, right? Like I always think like we're pushing down on the earth sometimes and like that's how we're standing up, but really it's gravity forcing us up, and I just think that's so fascinating. A friend of mine once taught me that. Anyway, um So it's okay to check in with people, but it's never okay for you to stay in a situation or circumstance where you are being continually hurt. And there's something that I like to share with my dreamers when it comes to manifesting new things in their life. In order for you to draw in something new, you have to make room for it, right? So if you want, um, let's say an example of this, like you are manifesting your ideal partnership, right? Some people will even say, like, clear out half of your closet because you're already knowing that your partner one day is going to move in with you and that's going to be their side of the closet. It kind
They
of,
be like every moments shouldn't be shared moments, not even telling other to stop, just receive.
mm-hmm. That's not, so hold on, let me read that back. Every moment shouldn't be shared moments, not even telling others to stop, just receive. You mean like the other person is saying that to you when it feels like the one-way road? If a friend is telling you like maybe you shouldn't share that and keep it to yourself, that kind of feels very mean. And I can understand if someone is saying that like trying to keep you safe, like, hey, maybe don't share that with these people, or maybe not share that in this space because you don't want that information out there. But if it's in a private conversation with someone and they're like, maybe you should just keep that to yourself, that feels bad, right? Excuse me. So, yeah. But when you're trying to draw new things into your life, you have to make room for it, right? When you're trying to pull your dreams into the physical form, you've got to make room for it. So just like a friendship, right? If you lose a friend that you have invested time and energy into, and that friend goes away, start to make space in your life after you've healed from that friend, no longer being in your life. Start to make a space in your life for a new friend to come in. And you can do that by going back into spaces where maybe you weren't going anymore so that you can make yourself more visible to be seen by others.
Nah,
Um,
like when you shared your lovely moment, the other be like oh good, but never receive anything,
oh,
not even their birthday or even their full name.
well, I think that's something, how would you say that? Are you meaning like the person doesn't engage at the same level as you? Well, I'm sorry if I'm not. Sometimes I miss the point. But yeah, you have to make space for the new things that you are trying to manifest or the new dreams that you're trying to draw into your life. So if you want to make a new friend, go into spaces where new friends can be made, and don't be afraid. Just hold it into your heart that I'm here to make a new friend, just like your dream siren being here. I'm here to build a loving community with you all. And I have opened my space by starting Somnium here on YouTube so that we can grow together. And so that is what I'm manifesting with you all. All right, I think this is the last question for this part. And that's pretty good because we're just about getting ready to stop for the evening. And I'm glad that these were not too heavy of questions because, again, I didn't want my dreamers to go into the weekend with too heavy thoughts, but something insightful and thoughtful, right? And it's kind of good going into the weekend to talk about friendships because what if you meet a new acquaintance and you never know, that person can grow into a lifelong friend or even a partner. One last oh, sorry. We have to go back to Slark. One last question, because I don't want to keep you up all night. Especially since if I did, it would probably catch fire. But if we ever ask your friends to give us an adjective that best defines you, what would it be? Dreamy, no. Hmm. What adjective would my friends use to define me? That's kind of hard.
It's okay. Sometimes my mind randomly stops poop.
Oh, we don't have our other model. Wait, we can do this face. Oh no, not that face. We can do this one. What do you what what happened? I got lost in the sauce again. Again. mm. Is it bad that I cannot pinpoint an adjective that I think people would use to describe me? The first one that came to mind was hopeful, but I don't know if I would I don't know if I want to go with that one. Maybe that is it though.
Last time I went to market and said 245 or 250. But actually it's 245.5. And it's online payment. Yeah,
My
kind
brain
of like this.
my brain does that too. My brain does that too. I think that that's just my dyslexia though. Um, oh man. Okay, I guess we'll go with hopeful, maybe. Mm, hmm.
At, with would be described. Feels like sentence mistake.
Oh, did I mistakenly? I would say the adjective my friends would describe me with would be would would be described. Did I write it wrong? I would say the adjective my friends would use to describe me best is hopeful. Okay.
I don't know. Either you is a fool or I is a fool.
Is you ain't my baby. All right. I would say the adjective my friends would use to describe me best is hopeful. There we go. Look, you can tell my brain's getting ready to turn off. Um, some of the medicine that I have to take makes me have like this sort of like brain fog. So, yeah, you'll notice that I start making a lot more mistakes, but that's okay. Thank you for pointing them out so that way I can correct it. So the rando that reads this is not going to be like, what? All right. It may sound silly, but I believe we all have the ability to overcome anything, any heartbreak, any tragedy, tragedy. Why is tragedy one of those words that messes with my brain? Tragedy. Is that right? Now I gotta look. No! Did I spell it right? Tragedy is one of those words that doesn't look right. Yeah, it is. You don't look right. um,
Yeah. Loss lose lose same but different.
Don't do it. I'm gonna doubt myself. No. I always think like loser. Hmm. I don't want to say it that way. In the end, as long as you okay, let's go back and read it. Also, that was our last little hour reminder. Do your little stretch. And I hope that you feel cozy enough to get ready to wind down for the evening and prepare for your Friday. Or if you are already in your Friday, that you have a good, like good positive feelings inside to keep you motivated to go through the day. And some nice contemplative thoughts as well too. Yes. All right. I would say the adjective my friends would use to describe me best is hopeful. Though I have been through many troublesome experiences at the hands of others, my heart has remained hopeful that in the end, love never fails. It may sound silly, but I believe we all have the ability to overcome anything, any heartbreak, any tragedy, any loss. I cannot really put into words why I feel this way, or at least not well, there's just something within me that says never give up. I think part of having hope leaves room for growth internally because you have not dropped the thing that you strive towards. You may just need a break and to make a few adjustments. Sometimes we have to step back and adjust our viewpoint. In the end, as long as you keep moving forward, no matter how fast or slow, you will achieve your dreams and goals in life. And you, Axolotl, passerby, on on my way to ask my best friend. Be right back. Oh, Chloe, so cute. Pat, 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 pat.
My best friend says, soft, like a pillow. So, do with that what you will.
Oh, that's so sweet. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you so much, my friend. It was a sweet and tender moment. I'll remember it for a long time. But before you go to bed, you can take the camera I hid behind that rock. So you can never forget that tonight you had a real heart-to-heart moment with a stranger. No. Oh. Click and drag the mouse to move the frame. Oh, this is so sweet. Me like, me like. Can we do it? Oh, we can make it bigger or smaller. Okay. Click the button to take the souvenir photo.
Cheese.
This was so sweet. Oh, shake to develop. Shake, 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 shake. Write a few words here. Oh. Hmm. Oh. On hope and soft. Oh. So new topic. Oh, oh! It all went away so quickly. Oh, that was so sweet. Okay, so we do new. What did those things go? I now have to go back and watch the VOD too. Oh. Alright. So we've got memories. Let's look at the adventure.
Is it available for Android?
Oh, I don't know, dear. I do know it's on Steam though. So we've got a little adventure diary. It says my goals, I think, is that 6 of 52? Moments I want to experience. Oh. Wow! Promises to myself. Build a little home for myself. To be able to protect strangers and accompany them. To have protected strangers and accompany them. Feel comfortable in one's own skin. Take your first selfie. Get close to nature. Okay, so the ones that we've achieved today are feel comfortable in one's own skin. To take your first selfie. And let the great trees inspire me. Celebrate those who helped me stand tall. Wow. I wonder what actually we do that checks these off, or if it's the conversations that we have that do that. These are so sweet. Oh man, I'm so glad that we had this experience together. And memories is gonna be our little book, I'm assuming. Wow. Oh, see, this is why I love indie games, because they always have stuff like this, and it makes it so much more loving. Mm. These are probably their backers, maybe. Oh, okay. So let's read a big thank you to Les Régions Nouvelles Contact. Is that right? This must be French. Okay. Oh, it's just more people. And game developers, I'm assuming. So is this a French developer then? Or maybe they're Canadian, actually. It's French Canadian. Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. I can't remember which scene we have set up right now. Oh, no. Let's hope this is right. There we go. We need to scoot a little over a little bit though.
It's good.
Okay. Oh, my dears. I hoped you all enjoyed that. I had such a wonderful time. And oh, I forgot our. What?
I loved it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, we have our. I'm glad that you liked it, dear. That was really special. Like I honestly didn't know what to expect going into the game. And I'm missing some of our elements here for our chat box, but that's okay. But yeah, like, I'm really happy that we played that. I was kind of nervous about it because I was like, what is this going to be about? What will we be doing here? And it turned out to be really cozy. And it was especially very sweet. I myself am one of those deep.
It was such a heartwarming game.
It was. I'm one of those people who really enjoy deep conversations, and I know that that's kind of intimidating for a lot of people. Here, we'll also switch her back to this now. I know it's really intimidating sometimes to people that oh, and our clock is fixed. Sometimes my there we go. My this big pretty clock, the dates will jump around and oh, see, right now it says it's the 25th. Oh no. And I still haven't figured out the why, but my my artist that I work with, she always fixes it for me. I'm just like, why does it do that though? Because it's so pretty, and she made it especially for me. So when it's not working, we use this one instead, which is, it's still really nice. Oh, we gotta scoot it over just a little bit. There we go. But yeah, like
Take care of yourself more.
I am, dear. I told you to not be such a worrywart. Trust your dream siren. Trust your dream siren to take care of herself, and trust her to take care of you as well. Yes, yes. Sometimes I feel like I'm a lot better at taking care of other people than taking care of myself, but that's only because I have some physical limitations that are very frustrating, but you do what you can do when you can do. And that's what matters, right? But yeah, I've had such a lovely time with everyone tonight. And for all of those who may have stopped by, thank you so much for visiting us. You're very, very appreciated. And for my regular dreamers, I'm always so very happy and blessed to see you. And you have my love endlessly. I may do a random gorilla stream this weekend. We'll see how I feel. I'm trying to think what we would do outside of just having, we'll either have just like a cozy, like deep talk under the willow, or I wanted to play a little bit of a scary game because I do love my scary games. I know people are like, oh god, you're too sweet, like please don't play the scaries, but there's some new scary games that I've been sitting on. But also there's a puzzle game that I really adore called Monument Valley, and I've played the first two. Those are on mobile. Let me see if I can pull up a video so that you can take a little look see at it. If you like puzzle games at all, this is a super sweet game to play. I don't know if I should give the link for maybe can we watch the trailer together for the third one? Hold on. How do you do that? No.
I love puzzle, especially jigsaw puzzle, only if it's less than 1,000 pieces.
Oh my gosh. I think we can do like an online puzzle together. So I'll have to find a site for us to do that. That will be super fun. Um, okay. I can never tell if I do this right. Okay. Let's mute our gem.
I've won, but it's been 2 years yet unpuzzled. Only solved up to 300.
Oh, that's amazing, dear. Okay, I might have to move this behind me just a little bit. Hold on. And oh. Aww. There's three. Oh. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so oops. That went straight into the Legend of Zelda orchestra concert. All right. So how do I say it? The first games were mobile when I played them. They were mobile, and then I guess they were on Steam, but I didn't really look for them because I had them on my phone, so why would I why would I buy them again? And then I this one I didn't think that Steam was actually going to get it because when it first came out, it wasn't even available on mobile, and I was really disappointed by that. And I was like, So now that it's on Steam, I get to share it with my dreamers. And that makes me excited. So I might do a little gorilla drop in schnoozle woozle this weekend to surprise you. Surprise you. And we can play the puzzle game together. But that's definitely going to be more than a one stream puzzle game. Like it looks much more complicated. I get really nervous and I get lost sometimes. So please be patient with your Dream Siren. But yeah, like maybe we'll do that this weekend, depending on how I feel. Otherwise, we'll see you back here on Tuesday for our reading stream. For those who are new, we do readings or try to do readings on Tuesdays if I feel up for it. So that way you have something to fall asleep to. We have a bit of a playlist here that you can go back and listen to, and hopefully hopefully it'll help you to rest or just turn your mind off from the world. But for now, what do we say? Oyasamira. Oyasamira is our good night message, or oyasumi, whichever you prefer.
Oyasumara. Good night.
Or good night. All of those will work. And I've had such a lovely time with you
Oyasumara.
all. Thank you for spending time with your Dream Siren. And don't forget to check out our website to find out more about our lore and who we are, see some of our fun art, and the people that we're very thankful for that gave us the ability to be here with you all. Until then, my dears, I bid you adieu. I know the kiss is late, so I'm gonna give you an extra kiss before we go. Hold on. Oh wait, we made a rule, didn't we? How many points do you have? Okay, so for our top fan, for every 10 experience points that you have, you get one kiss. So you have 150 points. It'll take so long if we do the hand animation. Should we just how do we do it? Should we just do 15 kisses without the animation? Or we'll do 15 long kisses. Hold on, let's see how long it's going to take. Hold on. 1. 2.
150.
No.
You can give 15 smoochies.
Yes, 15 smoochies. I thought you were gonna say 150 smoochies. Like, no, dear. 15 smoochies. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. I'm glad this is making you happy. 10. 11. 12.
Finally.
Look, I know why you're here. I know that's all you come here for is the smoochies and the goodnight kisses. I'm just kidding. 13. 14. And 15. There you go, dear. everyone else. I love you, I adore you, and I will see you back here soon. Thank you for joining your Dream Siren and Somnium. This is miramushi, wishing you sweet dreams, good night, and oyasumira. Good night, dears. Sweet dreams.
Yai. Thanks again. Take care and have sweetest days onwards. Be happy and lovely. Thank you, my dear 7-11-222. May the weekend be full of moments that bring your heart joy. Asterisk.